brought us here tonight. Speaking of Bud Bones, your next performer is an important person. He's going to prove it to us right now. This guy puts the ache in trachea shave. Give it up for James Adomia!
How you doing? Welcome to the Secret Loft. I love it up here. Jesus Christ. I didn't know I could just... Can I just do my set like this? Massaging the top of my head? You guys wouldn't mind. This is comfy. This is comfy. I like to bring people up here sometimes. I have this little space I live in right above my artist studio, and I like to bring people up for a little, chit-chat symposium sometimes. I've always wanted to be a guy who's like that. Hey, my name's Terry. That's a pretty generic, artist loft kind of name. So that's my name. My name's Terry. I live here in the space. Sometimes just drop in and see what the show's like. Yeah, this place is really rad. I love, though, that there's, this... I was looking at this, this is a small room. This is a cozy room. I like this. But then there's this thing where it's is this where they have the Muppets sometimes? This is... Or, the nativity scene. I think it looks like, this looks like a cove where, the animatronic prospector would be hanging out, if you're in a theme park ride. As you're coming by, he'll be turn back, folks, you're heading the wrong way. The track's out ahead. And then magically, that guy never gives you any constructive, can you see me? Hi. I'm shy. What if a 2-year-old kid was I'm a comedian, I'm just shy. Tell the joke, James, that you said was, I don't want to tell it to them. But the animatronic prospector guy will never give you any constructive advice. He's always turn back, folks, the track's out ahead. Is there a lever or a brake you can tell me about? It's a mighty steep drop ahead. I know. I'm in a runaway mining cart. What do I do about this? And then it's too late, and you go over the hole in the tracks, and then recreating some horrific mining disaster. Which always makes her a great ride. If 12-year-old mining kids lost their lives 100 years ago, 12-year-old park goers will enjoy it today. But then you're on the other side of the ride, he's always there, he's always hey, I don't know how you made it down here. And you're how the fuck did you make it down here? Well, no one's ever asked me that before. Folks don't like talking to us animatronics much at all. So I suppose I'll best tell you. I start my day out perched up in my warning cove. Turn back, folks. They never do. After which I take a very safe and secret back escalator and perch up on my gloating stump. I told you so. I hear a buzzing in the tracks, which means it's time for me to start the whole cycle of futility all over again. And a 7, and a 7, and a 7, and a 7. That is the animatronic prospector theme song, if you didn't know it. And a 7, and a 7, and a 7, and a 7. You guys seem like a gorgeous bucket of piglets. Thanks for inviting me into your home here. I feel like we're doing a Cub Scout meeting. It's nice. Does anybody like a bong or something? Can we just do that? This is like a bong room. I didn't have time to look in the mirror. I hope this works. So when I have this buttons, I think this is the most hilarious jacket I own. It's a girl's jacket. Don't worry, it's not the only thing female on me. I can't back that up at all. But like when I wear it like this time of year, when I button it up, it's like, is it Christmas time yet, mother? It's like one of the little boys that like Scrooge opens the window and is like, "You boy, yes, find a goose. Oh, very well, sir. Oh, I've tripped on a snowdrift." I don't know. All I'm saying is, I don't know. Something about this makes me feel like it's adorable, but then also I should get kicked in the pants. Well, yeah. Thanks for being here. It's nice to be here in Richmond. I've never been here before. Yeah, it's fun. I grew up in Atlanta, the other side of the South. It's nice to be here, though. Capital. Are there still any official duties as far as the capital of the Confederacy? There's no administrative. It would be great if there was like a shadow government. Like when there's like a queen of France that's still like, well, if we ever come back to power, it's me. We technically are the royal family. Wonder if that would ever happen. Shit! Oh, damn it! Boy, oh boy, oh my God, the right to drive down from D.C. to Richmond. I have some sympathy for McClellan, finally. Must have been said before. Yeah, it's nice to be here. I was in Atlanta not long ago. I like every time I get to go to Atlanta because it's like, as soon as you get there in the airport, even if you're not going to Atlanta, it's that airport, and they are the whitest people you will ever see in your life waddling through the Atlanta airport. Just white, so white that you have to pronounce the H in white, with a hair color that is the white part of a peppermint. And I'm wearing a red sweater on account of red states. Just goozling around through the terminal. That, like wearing like bow tie and there's nothing like suspenders that can make like a medical problem level of obesity look like, oh no, I'm just a Santa Claus. No, me, I'm a bluegrass jug blower. Oh, I want you to tell me stories. I feel like going like, what is it you do, guy in the terminal? Oh, I'm an old, fat, racist doctor. Just trying to get back to my pediatrician's practice in Roswell. What about you, sir? I am an actively homophobic lawyer from the government of North Carolina. They have about 12 of us on staff. Just making my connection to Charlotte. But yeah, I'm from there. I went around looking for the place where I grew up. I was staying in the neighborhood, suburban Atlanta. Not fun now that I'm a grown-up with taste. When I was a kid, it was like, Transformers, and it's awesome! And it's like, oh right, I probably went to bed at 9 o'clock every day. There. But I went walking around, because I don't really drive a lot, so I went walking around suburban Atlanta. Not a good idea at any time, because then, you get lost, because all the street names are like Duck River Road, Pheasant Run Highway, Pheasant Duck Lane, Anglo-Saxon Buck Hunting Avenue. And then you just get confused and lost, and then find the Chattahoochee River, and of course didn't do Boy Scout. I wasn't in Georgia long enough to do it. Be an old track and cracker boy, so I got lost again. But I finally found my neighborhood, and I was walking around and taking pictures of these houses, and I noticed cars are slowing down. And then I'm like, what? Oh, they're suspicious of me. And then I noticed all the neighborhood watch signs everywhere. And it was kind of cold, so I had my long black jacket on, and I was like, oh, I look like the guy in the neighborhood watch sign. I have this dark jacket blowing in the wind, and I'm taking pictures. And I'm like, who thought at what point in our like Red Scare paranoia were we like, watch out for guys who are obviously spies? They could be in any part of the country that's not of any real military value at all. They might be in Marietta, Georgia. And they even have a circular bomb hiding in their jacket. I did. I had a circular bomb and some anarchist literature. 1890s anarchist. What else was in Atlanta? Oh! I went to, well, you know, I don't know if this is known, but I'm a gentleman of a certain persuasion, you know. How should I say? A confirmed bachelor, I suppose. Oh, you know, one of those cobblestone boys, a satin pillow jumper, if you will. Someone from the Foreign Office, I'd say. A professional attaché. I don't really want to put too fine a point on it, but I went to the Hideaway, which is advertised as like Atlanta's oldest gay bar, which means we don't take no for an answer. I went in there and just immediately this guy was like, come here, I'll suck your dick, motherfucker. And I was like, stunned. And then he's like, I just stopped. I was just like, God. And he was like, off your bottom, I'll eat your asshole. Shut up. These are normal things that happen, but why you? What's the pitch here? I love charming places. I like to walk into like an old time gay bar. It's frozen in time, where they're just all Hollywood squares. It's me, Chevy. I'm the most hilarious doctor in Atlanta. I'm kind of picky about gay bars that I go to. I don't like the extremes, you know? Like, I don't like a place that's like 4 floors of pounding purple mist. Club Adonis at bar heat. I feel like nobody wants to hear my observations on anything in a place like that. Subtleties are lost. $5, please. $8, thank you. Get out. I worked in those places. I worked in them, and they're tainted to me. There's like the other extreme, which is like the other extreme is like sawdust on the ground, like cruisy place, and you know, a certain smell in the air. And yeah, you know, I worked in a place like that too. That was fun. I remember, you know, this. I guess I have this like cumulative impression of those cruisy kind of seedy places. I want to do this. This is like the 2 different kinds of guys who are gonna like hit on you, right? So this is the first one. The first one wants to suck your dick. I mean, you're me or whatever. Okay, so this is like your collective dick. Okay, so this is the first guy. And okay, so this is the guy who wants to fuck you.
Do you want to fuck or fight?
Either one. Now. Both. Fuck you and fight you. Love you and then hate you. So I always try to find little crazy places. One of my favorite, I love like little small town southern gay bars. There was one, I went to Shreveport, Louisiana, not too long ago, and there was, I went into the old, it was the only gay bar in a 200-mile radius. That's how they, you're a part of that. People even come from Dallas. And I go in there and the bartender, it's like a Friday night, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, like busy time. And like I walk in, the bartender's got like chevron hat on, like kind of like just, looks like a burnt cigarette. And I walk in, and he looks up and he goes like, "I'll buy your first beer because you're sexy as fuck." All right, Shreveport. Make a point to come back here once in a while. I was in Shreveport, incidentally, when they had just, I think they put the first, it was the first time they had cigarette taxes, and the local news was, they covered it like it was a hurricane that hit local smokers. They were just like, and horrible news here for area smokers in Shreveport. We went to the streets, and they're just people like, I ain't gonna pay. I'm gonna drive 30 minutes to Texas to get my cigarettes. I'm not paying it. And they didn't even have one person in the news story that was like, smoking is bad. It was just like, well, this is just an outrage. What's next? They're gonna just pull our lungs out of our bodies? That reminds me, when I was in Atlanta and I was walking around lost, I walked past a store called Smoke 911. And then as I got lost I ran out of cigarettes, and then I was like, fuck, this is a smoking emergency. I really wish that I could call Smoke 911. They must get calls like that sometimes. Smoke 911, yeah, we have to get something. I don't know if you have Parliaments I could do with a Swisher Sweet of some kind, just to get me through. It's been a few days now. Oh, Lord. Put me up in a deck chair and massage my thighs. I still can't tell if that voice is the voice of, like, one of my southern gay friends or, like, one of the southern women in my family. Same voice. That asshole. There's something about like the southern women in my family who've been wronged by a man who's always wrong. Don't get me wrong, like, the women are always right, but it's hilarious to hear this like rage mixed with like having been dragged through the court system. Like, that son of a bitch sat in front of that grand jury and told them no low contender rate. Because he's an asshole. That's why. I love it. I love Latin mixed with swear words. He had to file an amicus curiae because he didn't have a real friends. It's good to be here. It's football season, as we all know. Did anybody else play football? No, you don't have to. That seemed like I was asking for an obligatory. No, it's fine. Listen, guys, I'll come down here and we'll what if we just like chill out and everything? I feel like this is like, you know what? This is outside of my class. This is outside of the curriculum. If anybody wants to come over, I live in the campus house on campus. I'm a new, young, cool professor, just kind of like hanging out with the kids, Yeah. See what a cool professor I am? I do things like this. I do fail people. I'm kind of a shitty grader, but look how cool I am. I always got seduced by those cool professors. Actually, this is more like it. Now I feel like this is normal. Like, this is my stage. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, here we are. Fucking guys. You know what? They're always like, woo, 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 woo. You heard me. Don't what me. But yeah, I was gonna say it's football season, and I know, sometimes I get all over the place. I played football. Anybody else play football? Yeah, cool. Awesome, yeah. Closeted gay football kid like me? No? Nobody? All right. Is anybody here in the closet? What if I was like openly like, hey, I'm a closeted American. And he came up to me, and as a closeted man, I was like, I got an opinion about that, but I can't tell you. James, don't we? You're in the closet and you're open about it. Tell us about what you think. I wish I could. Charlie Rose. Yeah, you know, you're not allowed, you know, I was junior high school, I was not, you know, you're not allowed to be out. So I wasn't. At least not back then. This was the United States of America. I don't know if you know that whole story. But I played the sport for a long time. I was a center. I'm going to get back up because, you know, football injuries. And other kinds of pain. I played center for most of that time. And that is, I think, the appropriate position for the gay kid on the football team. If you don't know the position, that's the one hiking the ball to the quarterback over and over again. And that was just, like, awesome. Because you're just like this, like several times every hour, just like, oh yeah, I'm ready when you are, Patrick. He's got his hands right there on my ass. I can feel your fingers. And then it's like, well, that's not my real voice. This is my gay kid voice inside my head. I don't even need a snap count. I can feel your body. I'm keeping all the boys away from you. Did I? Okay, still kind of hanging in there. These are lousy pants. Split my fly open on stage. Embarrassed, bombed. Ruined career, over. Bomb stories. But, so I played the sport, and I did a year in college where I wasn't very good except in the locker room with one of my friends. Not on the field, though. But, I was good at it for a long time, and so that's why it's, like, upsetting to me, like, when we watch, like, televised football, the commercials are ridiculously homophobic very often. They get away with this thing where they're like, you've seen this commercial, like for beer or something, where there's like, it's usually a beer commercial, where like a guy comes up and he's like a little, like that's how the casting directors describe it. And I know this because I've been in those auditions. He's like, okay, the guy coming up to the beer, he's a little bit too for Budweiser, so. and so this guy comes up and he's like, hey, can I get a beer? And there's like a bartender girl who's got like big boobs and for some reason hates gay people because she's not a real person. She's written by casting directors, marketing people. So he's like, hey, can I have a beer? And she's like, not if you're wearing that thing. And then the camera pulls out and he's got like a pink feather boa and like panties on. And he's like, oh right, I'm a fag in a beer commercial. Oops. And then they're like, Budweiser, no gays. I might as well say that. And I'm not wrong about this because then inevitably in the same commercial, the tough dude swaggers up to the bar after him with like an unshaven face, and he's like, hey, me and my buddies who all like fucking girls, we'd like some Budweisers. Yeah, and she's like, that's different. Here you go. And they're like, Budweiser, that's right. If you like pussy, you like Bud. Anything else, and you might be arching your back tonight. Sometimes I think that even if, it's just like a ridiculous standard of masculinity, I think. Budweiser, a ridiculous stink-eating standard of masculinity at all times. I think that even if Sam Elliott wandered into the wrong beer commercial, he might be denied service. Come up to a bar all bow-legged. Say, friend, wondered if I could find something foamy to coat my mustache for the night. That sounds kind of gay. Fair enough. I'll stick to truck stop Coors. I love that Sam Elliott is always endorsing some product that is ridiculously masculine. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Yeah, I knew about beef. I heard of it. Ford trucks when you're in between beef and Coors. But I thought it would be funny if Sam Elliott just did endorse something that was a little bit out of his wheelhouse. If he had a commercial where he was just like, next time you're gathered around your non-denominational holiday party, holding hands with your life partner. Take some time to thank the ever-loving men, women, and transgender who are up in the glorious state of Oregon, pulling hot soybeans out of an unforgiving earth, so that you can enjoy that slice of tofurkey, served up so rare, well, it may not be kicking, but you can bet it'll still be photosynthesizing. Eco-friendly too. Soy, it's what's for brunch. I'd go for that. While you're at it, go ahead and wash her down with a nice swig of Pure Life Kombucha energy drink. Every bottle's got the mother inside. So you can rest easy, knowing that you're kissing the ever-loving Gaia spirit in all of us. I'd go for that. I wonder what would happen if Sam Elliott was just riding alone on a theme park car. Just thought I'd roll into town, maybe see the sights. And then he comes up on the guy who's like, turn back, folks. I got this one figured out. You want to join me? That sounds pretty gay. I'm a robot. Fair enough. But then it just turns out that the whole time the animatronic prospector guy has just been a guy, like, living up there. I came up and I stabbed the robot and tossed it away, and I have a straw patch to live inside of now. I scavenged off of used churros that float up in the water park. Churros, popcorn, and other flotsam and jetsam. And 7. I'm gonna do a couple of impressions for you guys. I love every time I get to see Gary Busey on television because he has a ridiculous acronym for everything that he wants to talk about. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this right now. I'm here right now because I'm a firm believer in pussy. Purity under stressful, secretive instances. That is why I will look you all in the eye at the same time and explain to you people that the events of September 11th happened on September 12th. And I have a freedom of speech to talk about that. Sweetheart, I'm here because I believe in rape. Reaction against predatory enemies. And I have a freedom of speech to talk about this that comes from where? Wrong. The Bill of Rights is an Illuminati document. My freedom of speech comes from the Magna Carta, which is why I carry a physical copy with me at all times. In the leather-bound notebook in the motorcycle sidecar that is parked outside. This is information that I have because I was attacked by tree frogs, and I understand the light now in hindsight, and that is because I can look you all in the eye and tell you that Obama stands for ordinary black appearance, masking Antichrist. If you want to know more about this, you can go to my website, www.GaryBusey.org/Busey/truth.htm. If you enter that incorrectly by one digit, you will be taken to a Viagra website. I love Busey. When he was on Celebrity Rehab, he was not he wasn't supposed to be there. He was like, I want to make something very clear. I'm not a contestant on this program. The opening credits are like, including contestant Gary Busey. He's like, I want to make something very clear. I'm not a contestant. I'm not a participant. I'm an outside attaché observer. I'm a UN status peacekeeper. I'm here I'm a liaison with the Swiss Foreign Department. I have a passport that is blank. I am not physically here right now. Who is number 1? I am number 6. Jesus Christ, put Gary Busey in The Prisoner. We want information. You want information? I'll give you information. I have all the information. God, even overwhelm them. That's the other tactic. Other than just holding out, like, I'm not going to tell you what you want, just be Gary Busey. I'll tell you everything you want. Mouse. Mankind only using sources energy. What does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means making enough asinine nonsenses stupidly. You can just go that over and over endlessly. Escher. Egalitarian society. Chewing her ever-loving ramen. All right, so it petered out. Sometimes we find a dead end. Sometimes we find in a little video game thing where I bump up against a wall. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah, what other impressions I want to do for you? Oh, yeah. Wait, I wrote those down. I spilled a little bit. Oh, I have tippy cups up here. Mother. Oh yeah, it's like election season, and I love none of the candidates appeal to me. Kind of was left out in the cold by Barack Obama. I don't know if anybody else was, but Ron Paul's an interesting figure. You agree with him sometimes, and then you hate him sometimes. He's like in the same category as Pat Buchanan. Pat Buchanan is like a weird figure because he was like, NAFTA is terrible for American jobs, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, thank you, Pat. And then he's like, there's too many Jews on the Supreme Court. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? What did you just do there? We have to stop the war in Iraq. It's a useless waste of American lives. I'm with you. Yay, Pat Buchanan. We have to build a wall to keep the gays from coming over from Mexico. Okay, hold on. You are wrong. 55% of the time, you fucko. But I call him as I see him. Thanks a lot, old timer. I'm glad you're there on the rocking chair. Stay there. But like Ron Paul's like that. He's like, he'll be maddening and then he'll say something right. But like, my favorite thing about him is that he sounds like, just a little boy who wants to play baseball. Hey guys, does anybody else out there want to go play baseball or some good old-fashioned American baseball gloves? And everybody's kind of ignoring him, like, no, nobody wants to play with you. Well, all I think is that we should just get an honest baseball game. And you're like, okay, all right, he's a cute little guy. But then what he's asking for, and in that tone, is the complete and utter overhaul of everything as it is right now. He's like, well, I think all we need to do is take the pie out of the oven, put it on the windowsill, maybe play a couple of innings, and then come back and burn the Federal Reserve building. What do you say, folks? I wonder how far Ron Paul could go. It's like, well, I think, after my first term, it's obvious that returning to the gold standard wasn't enough. I think it's important that we now return to a foraging society. No homes, no houses. I think we should live in trees and come down when the scary animals are sleeping. Grab what we can and then return to the trees. Pretty nice experiment. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'll do Danny DeVito. I was watching Hoffa. I love the movie when I was a kid. And I didn't realize that Danny DeVito directed it. I didn't know he directed movies. But then I saw he did, and then I was like obsessed with I turned the volume down and I was just watching it and imagining that I was Danny DeVito with the actors and take the script for the first time we cut to exterior Detroit Wheelworks factory. The camera pans across the scene of labor strife, and we land in the face of a young Jimmy Hoffa, his eyes burning with labor struggles past and future. The camera pans lower. No, not the camera, jackass. It's a table read. I need the script lower. I'm lower than table height. I'm Danny fucking DeVito. Okay, so that's a low blow. I'm sorry, but what else can connect? Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do my impression. This is Lewis Black. I guess I need. All right. Pardon me, code. This is my impression of Lewis Black reading from a 14-year-old girl's diary. It did split, but you know what? Pretend that I didn't call attention to it on stage. Do me that kindness. Okay, so this is Lewis Black reading from a 14-year-old girl's diary. Dear diary, today is the very best day of my life. That's because Sean winked at me and blew me a kiss. Next week is the big dance, and I know we're gonna be in love forever and ever. Let's say that again. Next week is the big dance, and I know we're gonna be in love forever and ever. Sean Milton, Becky Milton, Sean and Becky Milton. Heart symbol, googly face shotgun. I love whenever I can see Lewis Black. It's like, what are you so angry about and pointing at? I'm angry because I see demons and I'm trying to poke their eyes out. What else? Well, you know, I guess I would talk about this. I'm fascinated with the gay villain archetype, which is the way I kind of consciously. I'll wear a thin mustache. I didn't present it right tonight because I haven't shaved in a while. But I have, the thin mustache and that look. I love that. Yes. That always tells you that there's a gay villain running around. Facial grooming. Something must be afoul. Like any Vincent Price movie, he's there. He's like, they never, the gay villain's never gonna tell you, I am a homosexual and evil. It's always suggested. In the Vincent Price manner of yes, welcome to my library of secrets. This is Raoul. My curious associate. Our relationship need not be specified. One of you will be murdered tonight. But I love that it starts at a young age in cartoons for kids. We teach kids that there's an effeminate character, watch out, because he's a bad guy. If you remember the Disney Afternoon, the main villain on the Gummy Bears was Duke Igthorn, who wears tight, body-fitting gray chainmail, leather boots, and the thin mustache, and he's always screaming and singing at the same time. That means there's a gay villain running around. He's like, bring me those gummy bears. Bring them to me. I want them for the gummy bears. I don't want to get them myself. I and weak and effeminate. I live from Muscletown, not Strang. But I won't. The gay villain never wants to do the work himself. Bring it to me! I'm sitting on I'm draped across my throne. And then, of course, the Decepticons. All the Decepticons and Transformers. Megatron, shut up, Starscream. The character's name is literally Starscream. Pretty obvious. Why aren't we deceiving the Autobots? Can it, you power bottom? If we realize that homophobia was based on gay robots, it might fall apart overnight. Like a Transformer that you would have bought 15 years ago. But I love that, like, Megatron sounds like a grand dame drag queen is, like, giving shit to the young, like, it's like putting a wig on backstage, like, watch and learn or you'll never work at Club Cybertron again. Am I on? Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm a robot in disguise. There's endless examples of this. It's just boys. I realized this recently. Like, it's not just boy characters. In The Little Mermaid, the bad guy, the gay villain, is a girl. It's Ursula, the sea witch. I'm a big, fat, brassy dyke. I have a boy's haircut that's already gone gray. Ugly, right? Boobies that kind of look like pure fat. And I've got a pussy that's splattered on the seafloor. Ugly, ugly gay. Those poor unfortunate souls. I'm like, hold on a second. Is there any evidence that you're the bad guy, Ursula? Yeah, I'm a big fat dyke with a boy's haircut and tentacles for a pussy. Ew. And I'm like, no, every time I've met a woman like that in my real life, she has been awesome. That's the woman who's like, yeah, the bar is closed, but you know what? Tell you what, lock the doors. One round on me. We're doing shots. I call them poor unfortunate souls. Yeah. I got 8 tentacles, one for each beer tap. Pussy, pussy, pussy. That Ursula in real life is the kind of woman who's like, I gotta go home. I gotta feed my cats. What's wrong with her? That's a loving person. You can tell by listening to the voice, like, that's a person who leaves the voiceover studio going like, oh, great, awesome, let's go have lunch. But I guess my point is, gay people. Man, butch up. No, I'm just kidding. Gay people are not villains necessarily. I mean, sometimes, sure. From time to time. Same ratio as everybody else. But, you know, you wouldn't know that if you've ever seen, like, a Robin Hood movie. The Sheriff of Nottingham. Oh, how do I look out there on the wall? Good? Good, all right. A little curved. A little nice. You know what? Yeah, I suggest... Hey, hi, anybody watching it downstairs? How am I doing downstairs?
Great.
Okay, awesome. Fucking pick up the pace upstairs. The Sheriff of Nottingham in any Robin Hood movie is always just like a fabulous fop in furs. He's like, bring me this Robin of Locksley and make him kneel before me. Well. Robin Hood, you were so strong and masculine when you were shooting your arrows so straight. But look at you now, here in chains, in my dungeon. Your You're unable to move. Quite immobile. I feel you tense at my evil blowjob. But let's see your reaction when I get to you from the Sherwood Forest. Bring me the most painful condoms available. What? I've merely turned my back and he's gone? Find him! Seize him! Bring him to me! I'll be waiting here. I always love the Sheriff of Nottingham. In the iconic, classic Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner, the definitive version of Robin Hood, Alan Rickman plays the Sheriff of Nottingham, and he has this awesome throwaway line. As he's exiting, and as an afterthought, he goes, "Oh, yes. Kill the children." And leaves. And you're like, wait a second. That doesn't have anything to do with the gay agenda at all. I was against childbirth from the start, but now that they're here, they might as well be killed, I suppose. I always hated the species. But my favorite inconsistency with it is like, they always want to have the Sheriff of Nottingham, any gay villain, but this Sheriff of Nottingham in particular, steal Maid Marian from Robin Hood. Like, that's part of what he wants. Like, I will force her to marry me. What? That's not consistent with the way the character has been portrayed heretofore. I will have a coronation/forced wedding. Like every gay villain, Jafar and Brahmin, the Sheriff of Nottingham. No, that's not accurate. The Sheriff of Nottingham does not want to steal Maid Marian from Robin Hood. He wants to know what it's like to have a fucking wedding. So we let that happen and everybody's gonna be happy. Let the Sheriff of Nottingham go, go to New York City or Canada with Prince John. Everybody's gonna be happy. I guess, it's a little bit silly to me because I vividly remember watching wrestling. I was a big wrestling fan, and, come on. Do you guys remember this? Now, granted, I've participated in a lot of wrestling matches. Ulterior motives. Won some, lost some. Victories are not exactly what, sometimes it's a little opaque, which is a victory and loss. But, I remember over and over again, like, Ravishing Rick Rude, or somebody like that. Like, Ravishing Rick Rude standing over a man he's just conquered, right? Looking a lot like Freddie Mercury. Like, waving his genitals. He had the mustache. But he just had and he was like, woo, yeah, this. And if you weren't aware of what was going on, Jesse Ventura was there at ringside to just fill in the blanks. So he's like, look at that body, McMahon. That's ravishing Rick Rude, and my God, is he ravishing. I want his body. Look at the way. You go watch YouTube video with Jesse Ventura ravishing. He's like, look at that perfect physique, McMahon. What are you talking about, Jesse? I'm talking about the specimen that I want to settle down with when I find my special war buddy. He's my Spartan friend, and I want him. He's ravishing. I want him on top of me right now. But then they would swarm the ring with bikini girls to get Ravishing Rick Rude out of there, so Jesse Ventura didn't pop one on national television. Oh, wow, what a body! Oh. Hold me, Ted DiBiase. I love what is Jesse Ventura like after he has sex or something? He's like, that was a tender moment between two consenting adults. We know it can't last. I've got to go back to Mexico
So it's time for me to put my pink feather boa back on and my 9/11 truth shirt. And I'm going to leave you here on this walrus mating rock.
I love that Jesse Ventura was like the only guy who could go on Fox News and like defeat them. He would go on, like he went on Sean Hannity and he's like, okay, do you really believe, do you see, okay, Governor Ventura, do you see, first of all, my golden pen? Do you see my golden pen? Are you hypnotized by my golden pen and Christian looks? Do you really think that waterboarding is torture?
I've been waterboarded, Hannity, have you? My wife waterboards me every morning for breakfast. Orange juice, coffee, milk, tea, Cheerios. It's all part of a complete breakfast. But it is under duress and very painful, so yes, it's torture.
We went on Bill O'Reilly, and Bill O'Reilly's like, okay, so you're a pretty far left guy.
What's far left about asking questions?
Okay, but do you really believe that Bush knew the towers were going to come? Do you really believe that?
I've brought towers down before. Have you? I'm a Navy SEAL. I have personal experience with 9/11 style false flag events.
He was totally invincible to everything. You could not land a punch on Jesse Ventura. You're like, hey, Jesse, come on. What are you really telling me?
I did it. I wrote a book on it.
He was invincible, except, as it turns out, if you give him his own television show. Because unfortunately, as much as I agree with him, and I think he's doing a bunch of wonderful things, in Mexico, I guess, wherever he is, he will give an hour to any theory at all. He won't just stick to like what's actionable in court. Like the events of 9/11 or the Kennedy assassination or something. He's like,
I found a weirdo on the side of a mountain who says that the moon landing was faked. I'm gonna sit down with him in a dark place without a name, and I'm gonna talk to him for an hour and inevitably come to agree with him. I'm gonna get to the bottom of what really happened.
But the worst thing about his show is the name of it. The name of his show on True TV.
Who knows if it's coming back? They're not gonna let it on the air.
I don't know. But the name of it was
Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura.
That is the phrase that you use to dismiss a piece of information as being false. Oh, don't buy that. That's just a conspiracy theory.
Yep, we're going with that. That's the name of the show.
Why?
Well, the first option was questionable information with Jesse Ventura. But I wanted something that would hold water.
You could have tried anything else.
Well, we workshopped wives' tales as overheard by Jesse Ventura. But my wife didn't buy it. I wanted to call it Barstool Hearsay. As told over shots by Ursula the Sea Witch.
Damn, that would be a fun couple.
You got it, Mama.
Those poor unfortunate souls.
Who are you to tell me what's unfortunate?
Come to think of it, Ursula does look like one of those gorgeous ladies of wrestling. If there was ever a crossover. They are like a bizarro He-Man and She-Ra. Like if they just exploded like popcorn kernels. Oh. Sometimes I try to match people up with cartoon characters. Don't piff at me, Mr. Piffle. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here soon. I want to tell a couple more stories. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm gonna tell you this. I was living in Los Angeles for a long time. Right before I left, I had this gay bashing experience. There was these couple of queers. No, I'm just kidding. I was on the wrong end of this. It was enlightening though. I was leaving one of my favorite bars, and I was with the gentleman. The gentleman that we had met that evening, and were exiting the bar for an evening's pleasure, liaison, if you will. And we took ourselves to the parking lot, where we began to gentleman each other ever so gently. And then across the parking lot, I hear this voice. This voice goes like, "Hey, faggots!" And I just assumed, I didn't have my glasses on, I just assumed that it was a friend of mine. I have a lot of friends. So I went bounding over into the darkness like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I get over there and this guy's like, "Get away from me, faggot!" And I was like, "Oh right, danger word most of the time." Idiot. So then words were had. We had an exchange of words on the open market at a fair value, and boy oh boy, it was great. He kept calling me a faggot, which I suppose is a valid excuse. Excuse me, valid criticism. Boy, get that right. Valid excuse. That didn't make sense. He really had my number, I'll put it that way. Yeah, he landed that one right in my vulnerable spot, faggot. Touché. But then I was telling him that his chin didn't match his face and things like that. Good for him to know. And then we reached this weird impasse because he had people with him who were like kind of embarrassed and still backing him up, where they were like, no, it's like a gay place, we shouldn't do this. And then I was with this gentleman who didn't do anything, so I was like, all right, I guess we can skip to the end of this relationship. I'll handle it myself. And I was like, let's shake hands and be done with it. And he's like, I don't shake hands with faggots. Like, that's his policy. Which actually reminds me of what my dad used to say. But, yeah, that was he was like, I don't shake hands with faggots. And I was like, oh, yeah? Well, your kids are gonna be fucked up. And that's when he punched me and drew blood. And was like, what'd you say about my kids? And my first thought, I swear, was like, I didn't know you had kids. That's a lucky guess. Because I've always wondered, what's the appropriate response? And I think I stumbled upon it because, if you're hanging out at 2 a.m., at a gay bar, looking to fuck with some faggots, then your kids are gonna be fucked up. And if you are angry about it, a little short-tempered, your kids are probably already fucked up. And I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that I am wrong about that, and I hope they're great. I hope they turn out wonderful, but you're so fucked up that you'll think they're fucked up when they turn out great, so in your mind, they will be fucked up, so I'm still right. So there we are, and he's attacking me, and I had to think quick, because I couldn't win this fight. So I was like, do you want to be in the newspaper, sir? I said this, and it startled him, and I was like, if you're gonna do this to me, here, you will be in the newspaper. I kept saying this. I have the power to command the press. And I'm rarely written up in a purely positive light. I barely get mentioned by the press, but I acted like I could command the fourth estate. You will be in the newspaper, sir. And it startled him, and it scared him, and his friends particularly, they were like, oh no, dude, this guy knows newspapers. And they hustled him into the car, and they drove away, and then I was like, thank God that fucking worked, because who do I think I am? It's not like Elton John was assaulted outside of Buckingham Palace. Front page news. I do love imagining, though, that there was, some, city desk editor at a newspaper who was like, I don't have a story! What? A Domian was popped in the mouth? Stop the presses! Sir, we don't have presses anymore, that's all. Whatever it is, stop it! I want an early edition! We haven't run an early edition since 9/11. Run one! If it bleeds, it leads, and my God, if the blood is rainbow colored, it's a fucking headline. Poof! Popped in the lip! Subhead! fisticuffs on the yellow brick road. I smell Pulitzer, pure Pulitzer. And then like the wire service of BBC picks it up and they're like, Dateline, Silver Lake, California. Moments ago, an obscure gay personality was assaulted in a low-level act of violence. But it did work. It worked. He left. He left. Like, it worked. And I guess that just goes to show that the pen is truly mightier than the sword. To put it in the most gentlemanly way I can think of. That's a pretty fucking great Jedi mind trick. Do you want to be in the newspaper? I have the power to do that. So maybe, more than being villains, maybe gay people are more like Jedi. We could be good or bad. We just have some magical powers. Some very magical powers. Yeah, so luckily I'm not a Sith. I guess I'll leave you with this. I think gay people are vilified so much, and it's like where was that gay banker that evicted you? Who's that gay guy that started that war? That's all fiction. Those are all straight guys. Those are all straight white guys that you see at the Atlanta airport. Those are the real bad guys. The real bad guys are people like Michael Bloomberg, who literally said, the NYPD is my private army. Like, whoa, what? Like, when is he gonna put on a space cape and have a Flash Gordon Emperor Ming coronation? Here's the island, and like a sound, like a Queen soundtrack. Wow, wow, wow. Is the island of Manhattan completely walled off? Yes, Your Majesty. Very well. Bring in the Occupy Wall Street protest survivors. And they bring them in chains. Please, please, have mercy. Mercy. Very well. Grant them mercy. Now for a forced wedding. I was at Occupy Wall Street in New York a lot. I don't know if they did one in Richmond down here. Anybody go to that? Yeah. I was at, I know, who knows where everybody's falling down on that. I think, though, is anybody a big fan of the banks? I just want to poll the audience. Anybody big, like, yay, Bank of America? I'm on those guys' side. I don't think that's the way the great national divide falls down. I think it's more like, we hate the fucking banks on one side, and the other side, yeah, I hate the banks, but come on. And that's the two sides of this abortion issue. But I was at the New York one, and I went to LA, I went to the Occupy LA, and also went to the Occupy Atlanta, and I thought the differences between them were hilarious. The New York one was amazing because it's like the main one, and like the media was there in full force, and I'm good at sound bites. But I got interviewed by a lot of foreign press, and that was fun. More fun than anything was heckling Fox News, because Fox News, like, years ago I gave up watching television, like a healthy thing to do, because you find yourself yelling at Sean Hannity, like, take your gold pin down off the screen. and then like, oh, this is all unhealthy, I should stop watching the entire medium. But then like you see them there in live in person, like you're like, oh, Fox News. You're like, hey, Fox News sucks. And then they're like, hey, shut up, we're trying to get a shot. And you're like, the TV can hear me now. Oh boy, 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 oh boy. Fox News lies. Shut up, pal. Oh, we're trying to do something. I know, we're trying to do something. I got people to chant, Geraldo is a robot, to Geraldo. Chased him out of the park. Because we were behind him on the camera, so the viewers at home couldn't tell if we were wrong or not. We're like, we see gears and wires behind his mustache. But they don't want to interview someone like me. They want to interview like the guy who's got a rat crawling on his shoulder, who's like, why are you here? I'm here for health care for my rodents.
Occupy me. I don't know anything about anything besides my buddy. Ow, and I need health care as well because of how much he bites me.
That's the guy they put on the front page of the New York Post. But that was like, it was fun. It was really fun, and I'm so glad to be part of it. Then I went to the most laid back, like it was geographically huge, like appropriately for LA. It was just all spread out, just like really chill, like legal pot, so everybody's just like smoking or whatever. There's guys there who are like, I've been camped out here at City Hall since the 70s, man. I've been occupying for a while. I'm glad to see people finally come around. I got a little tent. Dude's got a little tent. There's like all these Lebowski guys. Got a little tent here, man. Got a little real estate. Yeah, I got some room. My rat gets to run free. He's like, he's got a little real estate for himself. You know what? If traffic's terrible, if you're going to try to walk to the other side of the camp, I'd take the shortcut around the south lawn. They should put like Occupy freeways in there. But I was at the Atlanta one, and that was hilarious because I'd never seen these groups of people cooperate before. The Occupy, the hatred of the banks brought together two opposite sides of a long, long divide in Georgia politics. There were black civil rights people there who were like, this is a continuation of everything Dr. King started, and now we are fighting the real power of the banks. And then like right next to him would be like the guy who's like, well, I'm an old fat racist doctor from Athens, and I'm just trying to get back in Wachovia. I was like, they're working together. It's amazing. But like that was like really interesting to me because like the big criticism is like, oh yeah, there's so many different points of view, man. There's a lot of different people involved there. Really stinky different people. Brilliant people who believe in different things. And I'm like, yeah, you mean like a ragtag group of rebels who have come together to fight an evil power? Yeah, that sounds about right. I get it. Yeah, they're fighting, the Emperor. Emperor Bloomberg, or whoever. Emperor Citibank. And you know what? If you're fighting somebody like that, and you're part of a ragtag group, some of you are going to be Jedis, some of you are going to be like Han Solo kind of assholes. Han Solo's kind of like a Ron Paul guy, I guess. And maybe you're going to be trapped in the Millennium Falcon with, Chewbacca there, and, Chewbacca's going to be farting a lot. Unpleasant. That's the way it works. So I would say Occupy, if you can. Guys, thanks for listening. This has been really fun. I'm gonna do one more quick thing and then get out. I want to do one more quick impression. Oh yeah. I will leave you with a closing statement in the style of former President George W. Bush, if he was leaving you tonight. My fellow America, first and foremost, I'd like to close. And to close, I'd like to finish. There's a story we get from Texas by way of the Bible. And it's a courageous story about my Savior, Lord Jesus Christ. And it's a story that goes like this. There's a man walking down the street on the beach. And he's walking along next to Jesus, and after a while he turns around and he sees there's only one set of footprint. So he says, Jesus? He says, yeah. Where was you? And Jesus whipped around and slapped him in the face. And he says, well, that ain't fair. And Jesus says, so? And he says, well, we was walking, but I only see a set of footprint, and I know that a foot can't walk in one set. And Jesus looked him right in the eye. And then he looked him right in the other eye. And Jesus said, it doesn't matter what Jesus said.
The point is, Jesus was flying. And I'm going to be flying right there, right next to him. God bless the United States of America. God bless you all to death. I appreciate that. Johnny, you go on Midnight Suggestion.
Thank you, Magical James Adomian. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Thank you, James Pope. Thank you, Man to Man. And thanks for everybody for supporting us this whole year. It's been great progress. Please check out the Facebook page. And if you haven't, please feed the solid gold fishbowl and or the skull. Thank you. Have a lovely holiday season. Good night.